Welcome everyone to ConExpo 2020. I'm Diana Henry. Joining me now, Hiroshi Hasegawa from Delta Q. Thanks so much.
Thanks for having me.
Let's talk about what Delta Q offers to the construction industry.
Sure. Delta Q has realized for a long time that this was a segment that we've always wanted to get into. And with the emerging technologies that we have, we feel that we're poised right now to enter that market. We've got a lot of really exciting charging opportunities, and with the implementation of better charging systems like lithium batteries and smaller, more efficient chargers, we're poised to enter it, and we realize that this is something that Delta Q really wants to get into.
Yeah, it's the future. It's definitely not the past. Yeah.
Correct.
Battery and charging trends, hot topic, innovation here at ConExpo and elsewhere. Where does Delta Q play into that?
Well, we've learned from the other markets that we've been into that the real strength of Delta Q was to make the charger the smart solution, so that the customer who uses it doesn't have to think about it. Plugs into the system, charges efficiently, charges in the shortest amount of time, uses the least amount of energy, and it's a kind of a fire and forget system. Like the customer doesn't really have to be a charger expert in order to succeed. So the trends that we see are that the customer expectation is rising. They've got even their smartphones and everything else they use are all lithium and powered, and they can get extended runtime. So that's the expectation, even the equipment that they use. They want to have a simple solution that they can plug in quickly, walk away from it, and come back in a period of time, and know that that piece of equipment can be used. So
you're probably getting asked a lot of questions because it's newer technology.
Sure.
It's just kind of getting into the marketplace by way of construction equipment.
Right. You
don't want a battery to die all of a sudden on a job site.
Right.
Tell me how Delta Q approaches that.
Well, we work with a lot of OEMs to make sure that we right-size the size of the battery so that they're getting as much battery as they need without having too much. I mean, obviously, the more batteries you put in, there's more weight. That decreases it makes it more difficult to run that equipment. So where we're really focused on is to make sure that the customer, the dealer, we really understand the requirements of what they expect, and if it's an 8-hour runtime, that we right-size the battery, get them the battery solution they need, and the charger that goes with it, to make sure that they have a total satisfaction in the piece of equipment they use. And the construction is challenging. I mean, they aren't able to plug in at every corner. So,
yeah, no, absolutely not.
So we try to make sure that what they need is that they have high efficient batteries that will make them be able to run for an 8-hour day. So
and move the kind of material that they're moving around.
Correct. And the things I've seen at the show is just it's mind blowing that the fact that back-breaking work is now done by one person, a lot more safely and in a shorter period of time. So the owners of the equipment are seeing that payback because they're not asking their people to do fairly tough jobs, right? In pretty harsh environments, right? So we want to grow with that and make sure that we provide those solutions to those customers. So
there has to be some regulatory requirements around this topic. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. I mean, everybody now is we all want to be green. We all want to be, and the government has addressed that. People like the Department of Energy and the California Energy Commission have made efficiency standards higher. We can't get away with just using any old battery anymore and expect it to do the job. They want to use the least amount of power to do the job that they need. And it all translated into savings for the people using it. It's good for the planet and it's good for business because you're using a lot less energy to do these kind of jobs. We've learned that in the other industries that we've been in, and now we were learning that people have said to us, is it all about being green? Of course it's about being green, leaving the planet better than we found it, but it's also about saving the owner money.
Yeah, doing the job, right?
Exactly. So we realize it's a total cost of ownership, and that's how we approach it for e-construction. So,
are there best practices that you could share with us?
Sure. I mean, the best thing to do is really, when you're working with a partner to develop some kind of solution, to make sure that you outline exactly what your requirements are going to be. If the expectation is it has to run for an 8-hour day, or it has to charge in a 4-hour period, or I'm not going to get an opportunity to plug it in, that they completely lay out everything that they need from whoever partners they work with, and to make sure that they get a solution so that when the end result happens, they're going to be completely happy with it. And Delta Q really prides itself on working with various battery partners. So we have a whole suite of software and hardware solutions that will work with just about most of the major vendors, whether it's LG or Samsung, I mean, we've really spent a lot of time developing those relationships so that we can offer that total solution to the customer.
Thank you so much for coming on today and sharing this
No
technology
problem.
with us.
Appreciate it.